A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to our webinar on integrity due diligence, identifying risks when establishing business relationships. We are very thankful to all of you to have taken out time and joined in our session. So first, we will have a look at the agenda. I would give a brief introduction of MBG Corporate Services. Then we will delve straight into what is integrity due diligence, why it is needed, and how to go about doing integrity due diligence. Last but not the least, we will go through some very interesting case studies to give you an insight and overview of how this process is conducted. So MBG Corporate Services was established in the year 2002. We are headquartered in Singapore, covering Europe, Middle East, and Asia. We have more than 5,000 clients globally, of which 100 plus are Fortune 500. We are 600 employees across 15 offices in 8 countries. We have 20 nationalities working globally. Our vision is to be recognized as a leading provider of corporate services in the region, driven by a commitment to excellence and our passion for helping businesses succeed. What makes us different is our 360-degree approach. So in our senior members of our team come from industry, regulatory, and consulting experience, thereby giving you a holistic view and a holistic opinion on everything. We provide end-to-end solutions for business growth, starting from the launch of a business till maturity and extension. These are our key service offerings. We provide risk advisory services, transaction advisory services, taxation advisory, in which we have international tax, corporate tax, transfer pricing, GST, indirect tax litigation. In financial reporting and assurance, we provide GAAP transformation, financial instruments, audit support, consolidation and closures, IPO and capital markets. In corporate and other regulatory advisory services, we help companies with M&A, JVs, general corporate solutions, capital market and security laws, bankruptcy and insolvency, secretarial compliances, among others. In terms of our human capital consulting advisory, we provide HR technology, payroll management, HR strategy and organizational development, and performance management, among others. We are industry agnostic and provide solutions, both consulting and advisory, to all sectors, which includes aviation, construction, healthcare, manufacturing, iron and steel, travel and tourism, retail, insurance, education, and many others. To introduce our first speaker of the day, I would like to welcome Mr. Janardhan Singh. He is COO at MBG Corporate Services and has more than 15 years of experience dealing with matters pertaining to corporate tax, international tax, transfer pricing, expatriate tax, and due diligence. He has worked on issues related to permanent establishment, source-based taxation of income, due diligence, and has very significant experience in the area of inbound investments and cross-border advisory. He has done extensive representations at the assessment and appellate level on the issues of permanent establishment, expatriate taxation, and taxation on the basis of source rules for several corporate entities and individuals. So without much ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Janardhan Singh to take you through his presentation.
Thank you, Rahul. Good afternoon and welcome to all of you in today's session on integrity due diligence. Before we go into the details, let me set the context of the session. We all know that there is no transaction that can be done in isolation. We all know that every deal or every transaction has various aspects having impact over it. Parties involved in particular transaction can be divided into 2 parts, internal and external. In this session, we put emphasis on the identification of risks involved while establishing business relationship with external party. Evaluation of such relationship can be termed as third-party risk management, which starts with the integrity due diligence. Next slide, please. First, I would like to describe the term integrity due diligence, which involves two words, integrity and due diligence. For better understanding of the term integrity due diligence, first of all, we need to understand these two words separately. The first term, integrity, is a common term used in our daily life, which needs or which means the quality of being truthful and honest, accompanied with well-built moral principles. The second term, due diligence, refers to those actions which are considered to be reasonable to keep ourselves and our property safe. Hence, we can say that integrity due diligence broadly involves review, which investigates regarding the integrity risk posed by various stakeholders. Integrity due diligence can also be defined as identification of the ethical risk from establishing third-party relationships, which may be termed as third-party risk. Broadly, we can say that third-party risk may result in disruptions in operations, adverse financial impact, increased regulatory scrutiny, actions by regulators, and adverse reputational impact. Next slide. With this background of integrity due diligence, let us move to understand the objectives and significance of integrity due diligence. Integrity due diligence is not a replacement of financial due diligence. However, it can be considered as complementing the other traditional due diligence. Moving further, we need to understand the aim or objectives behind integrity due diligence. In order to understand this, we are indicating here certain grounds, or we can say parameters, which might lead to unethical loss of integrity during establishment of business relations. Integrity due diligence helps businesses to uncover serious red flag issues and risks such as lack of transparency on the ultimate beneficial owner, reputational damages, existence of corruption, unethical or we can say poor track records, money laundering activities done by the potential business partner, bankruptcy and defaults in loan repayments, inappropriate support from political parties, uncertainty over grant of any license crucial for the potential relationship, and criminal records against potential business partners. Next slide. Now we can move towards the significance or importance of integrity due diligence by evaluating benefits attached to it. Proper assessment of risk enables companies to do better risk management, as it identifies red flags, which helps companies identify potential exposures in their own systems and processes. Sometimes it is seen that companies get associated with criminal activities, human rights violations, and corrupt practices, which results in loss of trust and loyalty of business partners. Integrity due diligence can help companies identify potential reputational risks associated with their business relationships and also helps in achieving enhanced reputation. We all know that decision making is a very important aspect in any business. Integrity due diligence provide a better understanding of risks and benefits associated with a particular transaction or association. Hence, we can say that integrity due diligence helps in making more informed decisions in line with business objectives and risk appetite, resulting in improved decision making. As we all know that strict laws and regulations are being made to govern money laundering, terrorist financing, and other financial crimes. By carrying integrity due diligence, companies can ensure that it is in compliance with all relevant laws and regulations, which results in improved regulatory compliances. In slides to come, my colleague will take you through the detailed aspects of integrity due diligence. And I think you all will be benefited from the same. So thank you. Over to you, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Mr. Janardhan, for that very insightful and informative presentation. I am sure our audience has greatly benefited from this. I would like to ask everyone to submit their questions in the Q&A box. After the webinar, our team would reach out to you in trying to resolve all your queries. We will contact you by email, phone. So please share your queries in the Q&A box, and we will reach out to you definitely after the webinar. So moving on to the next presenter of today's webinar, Mr. Saurabh Srivastav. He is Assistant Director in the RTAS practice, which is Risk and Transaction Advisory at MBG Corporate Services, and has more than 10 years of rich cross-functional expertise across industries. He has conducted business health checks, internal audit, corporate investigations, integrity due diligence, fixed asset verification, market intelligence, ICFR implementation, and testing. He has worked on projects across various sectors like automobile manufacturing, retail, healthcare, private equity, logistics, and transport. He has also assisted to execute forensic technology and conducted reviews in unearthing crucial threads of evidence in corporate investigations. Saurabh is a certified fraud examiner and is a member of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. So I would like to now welcome Mr. Saurabh to take you through his presentation.
Thank you, Rahul. And thank you everyone for providing your presence in the webinar. It's my pleasure to present. So Rahul, please move to the next slide. Well, so continuing with the conceptual base of integrity due diligence, along with its global existence, the objectives of doing IDD and the significance achieved through the IDD, I would cover the next two parts of the agenda. First is how to do integrity due diligence, which is right in front of yours. And next after, I would also present you this set of 4 case studies. The case studies we have compiled very specifically out of our professional experience and around integrity due diligence. Without any delay, let me start. Well, to start with, I would like to describe the base structural way to conduct IDD through approach and methodology we use to conduct IDD. The approach and methodology of IDD majorly include 4 stages, or I would say phases, which start from discussion and data collection. Under this phase, we focus on the discussion to gather understanding and core requirements, gather information to understand the background of the purpose and list of the targets. After the discussion, we do compilation of the relevant information related to targets and ascertain the level of completeness of the information. Well, as per my experience, I would say the discussion and data collection is one of the most critical part to conduct IDD. Because of that, if you can't understand what's the purpose of the, you can say, client or respective company, no one can execute the related purpose. Well, once we understand the purpose or requirement, we do start the procedures, which majorly come under the next 2 phases, second and third. Well, I would like to clarify here that second and third phases are basically proportionate to each other. Sometimes we work on online searches, then generate an on-site or on-call assessment, and sometimes vice versa, as per the requirement of the purpose. Well, max online searches comes at first. Talking about online search, during this stage, we generate detailed internet searches as per the requirement of the purpose. We also conduct categorized keyword searches under the same section based on the case-wise specification. Through the online search, we try to identify the holistic picture of the target, which majorly includes the information related to corporate or industry information, such as the information of affiliates, past and present stakeholders and directors, related financial statements and incorporation details, etc. News or press releases and blogs related to the targets, subscription or non-subscription database like LexisNexis, Infactiva, as per the applicability of process, or you can say purpose. Public records related to litigation, regulatory orders, criminal records like CBI, NCRB, and social media records of the targets. Let me talk about on-site or on-call assessment. Under this, we generate physical verification or on-call discussions. Generally, we do this exercise by questioning regarding the evaluation of values, work ethics, and reputation through the discussion with the neighbors, co-workers, ex-employees, or competitors. It depends on the requirement. After the completion of the procedures, the report comes into the picture in the form of summary of findings and detailed observations. Going forward, it is to be noted that in the execution of IDD, online search and on-site or on-call assessment have the utmost importance. Therefore, hereby we need to know about the main objectives of each of these. Let's move forward. Here, under the online objectives of online search, here we can see the objectives of online search. It is start with the relevant media reports, which assists to examine media information published related to target. Business affiliation, which assists in the understanding of the relations of potential business partners. Criminal record, regulatory notices, and litigation issues pertaining to the related targets, if any, no doubt. Family details to understand the personal background of the stakeholders, how influential they are. That's the purpose of that. Bankruptcy record, details of the entity or any other related entity, specifically in the case of investment. It works very well. Adverse social media commentary to verify public controversial activities. In the case of industries, I would say like retail, the regular commentary against the store creates a reputational issue. Sanction list and international watch list results, I would say, for gathering information related to target, which currently is subject to sanction and any terrorist activity, if any, key financial information of the entity, and political affiliations to check the influential connections of the respective targets. Well, I would also like to include a point here that these are the very specific objectives of the online search, and every IDD is completely case specific, and the objectives are completely based on the scope of the IDD. Let's move forward. Moving next. Now let's talk about the objectives of on-site or on-call assessment, which start with verification of the physical existence and actual business as compared to reported or shown in the public domain of the potential business partner, which is very crucial to under the project of IDD. It gives you a straightforward observations about business irregularities. Any specific reputational information we do, you can say on-site assessment specifically about to take consideration in our mind to take consider about these specific topics, reputational information, on-ground understanding of the business structure. As we found in our experience, the entity shows a flashy picture about themselves. However, the reality we found generally different in our experience. Verification of violation of agreed brand compliances. Well, it works very well in the mystery shopping and on-site assessment. Well, as I have told earlier that the industry like retail, the showroom, we found in our experience, the showroom were not taking care the, you can say, brand guidelines. And last is any other useful information and critical for the client's perspective, however, not available in the public domain. Again, I would say these are very specific objectives. And these are the key objectives for your kind reference, including you can say online and the on-site assessment, including the on-call assessment. Now let's move to the case studies. I hope everyone has an idea of the procedures of the IDD. Now I would like to start our next section of case study. We have compiled 4 specific case studies on 4 different business relationships. Let me start with the first case study. Under this, our client was a large Japanese company headquartered in Japan. We were hired to conduct IDD on 40 selected vendors based in India. The central idea behind this activity is to gather any adversarial information related to vendors and also the conflict of interest check of the vendors with their selected 5 employees. As per the expectation of the client, we have prepared a purpose-specific scope of work. Under the key actions taken, we have mentioned, under the key actions taken, which is available on your screen, we have mentioned the key specific actions from the related scope. The key actions were the detailed case specific keywords research, considering the adverse media information, political connections, corporate structure, background, business activities, I would say geographical presence also, and list of directors or promoters or shareholders from the start, or you can say incorporation of the company. We have also done the mapping of social media profiles of vendors, conducted searches for litigation and regulatory orders, concluding all the online search record. We also initiated on-site assessment at vendor locations to identify any related adversarial information and other key information. Through all the procedure, as a result, we found some underlying results. Well, I will describe the underlying results along with key insights of the IDD for the respective results in the case study and all next case studies. The IDD insight part is designed, I had designed specifically for the layman understanding, explaining why the results are underlined. Coming back, the first underlined result was an employee was found to have an immediate personal relationship with the vendor, talking about the related insight which arises in the form of conflict of interest. The vendor-employee collusion makes your supply chain weak. It indicates the potential bribery chances that will ultimately give the company a loss, I would say in the form of money, quality, or I would say reputation. Second result is the 2 vendors claimed business locations were found not to exist. And the third, 1 vendor was found to deal in the textile industry, however, claimed to be in the automotive industry. Talking about the related insight, the non-existence of the claim business location or wrong claim of industry work experience indicate false promises and the possibility of inferior quality products, which can impact the company's brand reputation. Our fourth result was that 2 vendors were found to have a very close relationship with influential political party leaders. And influential political party leaders can create several future losses. It indicates the potential production loss or money loss over the incomplete delivery or poor quality delivery of material. These things happens and we had seen in our experience. Let's move to the next case study. In this, under the case study 2, in this we have conducted IDD for the target business relationship named franchisee partner. Our client was the owner of a restaurant chain having a multinational presence of franchisee restaurants in the form of franchisee partners headquartered in India. We were appointed by the client to do the IDD for the selected franchisee partner based in UAE as well as in India. The central idea behind the activity is to find any political connection or any adversarial information which leads to affect the reputation of the client. The major actions which we had taken to fulfill the client's requirement were the detailed internet research, categorizing case-specific keywords, and mapping of social media profiles of selected franchisee partners. Along with that, we had also done the mystery visits at the locations of franchisee partners. The underlying results, including respective insights, these were starts with the adverse social media commentary found against one franchisee, which could affect the market reputation of the client's brand value. Considering the current scenario and the restaurant business, the increased adverse commentary, I would say, ultimately impact the reputation of the brand value of the company, which is very critical, specifically in these kind of things. Next result come through the mystery visit. During the mystery visit, we found that one franchisee partner was using dual branding at the same restaurant, which was a clear violation of franchisee partner contract terms. By this way, you can understand the essentialness of the mystery visit. Through the mystery visit and on-site assessment, actual business operations being operated by a business partner can be uncovered. Let's move to the next case study. The next, I would say, the third case study pertains to a client, which was a private equity investment firm based in India, and that had selected a potential investee for investment purpose. To evaluate his decision, the client hired us to take a deep dive into a potential investee. The investee was majorly deals under the textile industry, to identify information for its key management personnel and its stakeholders, including shareholders also, the reputation of the potential investee and its principals, in addition to checking any political relationships. The major actions which we had taken to fulfill the client's requirement were the detailed internet search, media and internet searches, and political exposed person check, along with the analysis of financial statements. Also conducted the on-site assessment at the locations of the potential investee to identify any related adversarial information. I would like to reiterate again that the actions, specifically your written here, are very specific as compared to the scope that we had actually executed. Now coming back, the first underlying result, with respective insight, was the shareholder were found to be in close proximity to influential political leaders. This creates an alarming signal to think again about the investment strategy, as the influential political relationships create the chances of potential loss of investment money in future. I would not say all the time, but yes, it happens. And in this case, you can say the related political influential leader was having a very influential. Under second result, during the review of their financial statement, we observed the availability of very large statutory dues, which may hamper the investors' invested money, considering the future litigation liabilities. We also found the litigation of the criminal litigation cases against the two directors of the target. Well, criminal litigation charges could create a huge loss to the company. No, I don't think so. It also required to analyze to anyone. The last case study, let's move to the next case study. The last and fourth case study is for the banking, who appointed us to identify and verify the beneficial ownership, identification and verification of the target potential corporate customer who applied for the loan and majorly deals in the scrap business. The central idea of the activity is to assess the credit worthiness of the potential customer and the reputation of the customer. We took certain key actions to fulfill the assignment, such as establishment of the identity of the customer, including identification and information gathering for the target customer, media and internet searches, aiming for unfavorable or adverse information along with political exposed person check. Also generated the on-site assessment at the location and I would like the locations of the customer to identify any related adversarial information. The first key result that we found through the procedure was the availability of the family relationship with the statutory auditor, indicates potential compromised financial numbers. In this case, the statutory auditor of the customer was found to be a relative of the director of the target customer. Secondly, we found that the promoters of the target customer was found to be in close proximity to a national level political personality. Well, as explained earlier, checking the influential political background is always very good to know to avoid influential political pressure. Thirdly, we found that one director who was also found to be the director in other 4 companies also found as a willful defaulter in the company in a one particular company of his other directorship. The willful defaulting indicates non-payment of the loan back despite the ability to repay it, which ultimately indicates the future non-payment of the new loan amount also. From here, I would like to close this session. Really thanks to everyone again for your persistence listening. I hope you enjoyed this session. Over to you, Rahul. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. That has really given us a lot of insight into integrity due diligence. I would like to personally make a mention of the case studies that were, discussed here. It has really given us a lot of insight into so many different aspects of integrity due diligence. And I'm sure this has been an eye-opener also for the audience who has taken out time and joined us today. So with this, our session comes to an end. However, our endeavor is to continue to share knowledge, and we will continue to organize webinars in the times to come. Please follow us on our LinkedIn page. You can write to us on communications@mbgcorp.com, and you have the number given on your screen where you can send a WhatsApp or you can call if you have any queries regarding integrity due diligence or any of the services that we offer. Once again, I would like to thank Mr. Janardhan Singh and Mr. Saurabh Srivastava for sharing these very precious insights and information on integrity due diligence. And thank you once again to the audience for your patient hearing. Thank you and have a great week ahead.